I'm Dana and this is Otis. And I've made it a regular thing on my channel this year that each month I bring out my little book where I write down the things that I've watched and I tell you about the things that I've watched that month. And we're doing it because last year I tried to do it as like a whole like what I watched this year, and it was such a mammoth undertaking. So we're doing it month by month because it's easier for me, and that's what we're going to continue doing. These videos get very few views and they get even less comments. It's very much for me. I like documenting bits of my life. I like keeping track of things. I'm a big media autistic. I watch a lot of things and I like the things that I watch for the most part. So we're gonna start with movies and then do TV shows. There's a lot more movies than TV shows because TV shows are longer. I know, it's a shocker. So the first film that I watched this year was Backrooms. This month was Backrooms. I hated it. I didn't think it was particularly good. I didn't think it was that scary. It didn't give me the same vibe of like the Reddit posts and like the meme and like the whole thing that already exists of it. I didn't think it had the right vibe. I didn't love it. It wasn't for me. I wasn't particularly scared by anything in it. I just thought it was a bit shit. Sorry. Then I watched The Wild. And we've talked before in these videos about how I do this thing where if I didn't like actively enjoy something, my brain just wipes it to make space for the next thing that I actually enjoy. I think this was the one where like two sisters were going out like into the outback for something or another and then start getting like sort of hunted down. I don't really remember it enough to give you an opinion on it, if I'm completely honest. Then I watched Snowtown because you might remember if you watched the other videos of these. I assume that it's the same people that watch each time, to be honest. I was on my little like Australian horror film kick. So Snowtown was sort of like the finale of that for me because it's another one that I didn't overly enjoy. And I do remember it fairly well because I did like actually pay attention to it despite not overly enjoying it because it was intriguing, but I didn't enjoy the pacing of it. I didn't like the way that they laid out the plot. I didn't like how unserious some things were. And especially at the end when it like popped up with all the information about how it was like based on real events, I don't feel like it did it justice. There's definitely worse films. I didn't like absolutely despise it. I feel bad like critiquing it because everyone that I've seen talk about it online had really good things to say about it, but maybe I just didn't really get it. It just wasn't for me. Then I watched the Terrifier movies. Do we call it a trilogy? I haven't like entered the fandom. I think I might be over fandoms at this point in my life. But I watched the 3 Terrifier films and I fucking loved them. I really, really deeply enjoyed them. I've been putting it off for ages because when people dress as the fucking clown at Comic-Con and follow you around, it just annoys me. I don't care if you're dressed as Michael Myers or if you're in the Scream mask or if you're Art the Clown or if you're Freddy Krueger. I don't give a fuck who you're dressed up as. If you're following around people at Comic-Con, you're sad. You're just sad. Like, it's not even like you're an asshole or an awful person or a freak. Like, you're just sad. Like, just stop it. Find something better to fucking do with your day. Jesus Christ. So because of those people, I've just not wanted to watch this film because I'm like, oh, would you follow people around and then murder them? Oh wow, I've never seen that before. But I actually really deeply enjoyed the films. I really love a bit of gore. I love a bit of like body horror type stuff. I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed these films. I also really enjoyed the site that I was watching them on had people's comments under the movie, and the amount all of the comments on the first one were really positive and they go significantly downhill in opinion from there. I fucking loved them. I loved all of the bits that people were really annoyed about and seemed to think like ruined the whole like universe of it. I really deeply enjoyed them. I liked them a lot. I then did my rewatch of Adult Life Skills. I rewatch Adult Life Skills quite a lot. I think it's one of the most lovely, beautiful, just like delicate, nice films ever made. I love everything about it. I love that Jodie Whittaker's in it. I love that Lorraine Ashbourne's in it. I love everything about the plot. I do hate that the current girlfriend of the little boy out of it commented on my TikTok to let me know that he's a dad now. He's had a whole baby because he's old enough to be doing that. Like, because at first I was like, oh my god, a 10-year-old had a child, and then I was like, oh, he's not 10 years old anymore, is he? Like, he's age of being a dad. I mean, It was so long ago. But I love it. I love the film so much. I rewatch it regularly because it's perfect. It's flawless. I wouldn't change a thing about it. I wouldn't have the whole romance with the man. I'd make her a lesbian. But other than that, I wouldn't change a thing about it. And then I rewatched Elfie Hopkins. And I feel like I like this film a little bit less every time I watch it, which is quite sad because I still have it on DVD from when my mother bought me it for Christmas in Denmark. And I went fucking wild for it, and it had like such a specific vibe to me that at the time that like it doesn't feel like it carries anymore, and I do still enjoy it. I also really like that even when it's my mum finding a random film in Denmark and being like, I don't know what it's about, I just looked at the cover and like thought you'd like it. It had Dean Andrews in. Like even when I'm not looking for people out of Ashes to Ashes, they were always there. Then I watched London Road, and I only watched this because Rosalie Craig's in it. It's a musical about the real life events of 5 prostitutes being murdered. They decided to make a film about 5 women being murdered and went, oh, what if we have bits where we like start adding a little beat to it and then the music comes in and maybe like a little bit of dancing and we make it a musical. Let's have a musical about 5 women being murdered. I don't like it. Olivia Colman was in it as well. Like I didn't think it was like the worst made thing ever, but I don't understand why we looked at real women being murdered and went, let's make it a musical. Fun little upbeat musical about women being murdered. Not for me. Not for me. I then rewatched The Pod Generation. I watched this like maybe around the time it came out. Did I like when? I didn't like the year it came out, but I originally watched it because Emilia Clarke's in it. I had like a brief phase of being really into Emilia Clarke. I do still like her, like as a person and as an actor, unless she's done something awful that I don't know about, in which case obviously she's awful and fuck her. But unless that's the case, I really quite like her. I just don't really keep up with her because she's not in any of like my direct favourite things, so like she doesn't really need to exist for me, to be honest. But I do like her, and I rewatched it again because Rosalie Craig's in it. I didn't know who she was at the time. I just thought she was kind of fit, and yeah, she's great in it. I like this film. I feel like you could probably, like, if you cared, which I assume you don't, you could probably go back to the first time I watched it and also find me be like, oh yeah, that was good. Have I been telling you what these things are about? I haven't. Am I meant to? Do you guys want to hear what they're about? Do you want this to be like things you could watch? Because I'm just doing it so that I have a track that isn't a book that can get wet and have all the ink spill and I don't know what I watched for the last 4 years. You know, like that's why I'm doing these. What do you want out of them? Let me know. The pod generations of like a future world where people have babies in pods instead of having to be pregnant with them. And honestly, I think it looks fucking fab. I do think it's supposed to be some sort of warning of like humanity moving too far from nature. I mean, I'm not too sure where I stand on the whole kids thing anyway. I'm not being pregnant. You can get that straight out your mind. Putting it in a little pod to grow it and carry it around with me for a bit. Alright, I could do that. The Devil's Candy was about a family moving into a house. But the dad kept getting like possessed and painting weird shit, and then like other people got possessed and then the house got set on fire and the daughter like nearly died but then she didn't. It's very much like someone decided to make a horror film and had enough money to do so and they did it. You can if you have money. There's loads of things you can do with money. It wasn't good. The acting was fine. Set design was quite nice. It wasn't good. Then I watched Coyotes, and all I knew of this film going into it was that it was called Coyotes and it had Justin Long in it. So as a major massive fan of Tusk, I automatically assumed that Justin Long would be becoming a coyote in this film. Obviously, that makes sense completely, right? He doesn't. Justin Long does not become a coyote in Coyotes. He just has to try and fight some off so his family and the rest of LA doesn't like die via coyote. And he manages it. And at the end of the day, it is a film about a load of like posh LA people being attacked by big dogs. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy things with Justin Long in for the most part. Because then I watched Paradise Records. And this was awful. It was absolutely awful. Like, it was genuinely terrible, even though it had Kevin Smith in it. It's one of the worst things that I've ever watched. It felt improvised, but I don't think it was. Because there were bloopers at the end and people kept going off script and then they'd all like laugh and start again. So I assume there was a script, but it didn't feel like it. It was really bad. It was really bad. Then I watched Spin the Bottle, which was pretty mid. Really mid horror film. I mean, it's a horror film called Spin the Bottle. What do you think fucking happens? Do I need to explain that one? I then watched A Cure for Wellness, which I feel like people were really talking about prior to 2020. I mean, it came out in 2016, so that would obviously make sense. But I mean, I feel like it was really big at the time, and then it sort of like fell into obscurity almost. But I finally got around to watching it. I don't feel like I thought it was as good as I've seen other people say, but I did find it very intriguing and interesting, and I did enjoy it. I don't think I'd watch it again. I liked that it had a sort of Crimson Peak sort of like gothic vibe. Yeah. I did think it was good. I don't think I'd watch it again. I realised it was like 3 minutes ago that I was like, should I tell you guys what they're about? I don't know how to explain what this was about. Like, I do have some level of media literacy. I did like understand it and conceptualise it. I could have a back and forth conversation about it. I don't know how to just sit here and monologue to you what it's about. Then I had my friend rewatch Angel Cake with me. It was their first time watching it and my like 7th time. I fucking love Angel Cake. Sarah Lancashire's a little like council estate wife who bakes cakes for like making a bit extra cash, and she makes a batch of scones that all stick together and look like Mother Mary, like Hail Mary full of grace. Do you want to sit on my face? I don't know the fucking words, but you know, like Jesus' mum. And people realise that it's an angel cake. It's a miracle cake. If you like look at the cake or touch the cake and tell the cake what you want, you get what you want. Her mum's suddenly like up and about when she was like previously really disabled. Her mate's losing weight. Her son's like spotty little friend loses all of his horrible little spots. Everything becomes really good for everyone, and then a fat mate eats it and everything goes back to normal. It's one of my favourite films. It's one of my favourite things Sarah Lancashire's ever done. I think it's from like 1999, and I was born in 97, so it is a little bit early for me, but like it's just so reminiscent of the area that I grew up in that it feels really nostalgic for me, and I really enjoy it. And like the house especially looks a lot like the house I grew up in. I like the decorating and like just the way that it was. Like ours was a bit bigger, but it was very much like that. I just like it. And then on the recommendation of the friend that watched that with me, I watched Chuck Chuck Baby, and I'm going to be watching this many more times. It has Louise Brealey and the woman whose name I can never ever fucking remember. She was the woman that was trapped in the 60s with Jericho in Flux, and she was Nicola Walker's sister in Split. And she's so pretty. She has such a lovely face. I love her so much. And in Chuck Chuck Baby, Louise Brealey works at a chicken factory. But back when they were teenagers, she was like really obsessed with the woman out of Doctor Who. She never really quite got over it, even though she's married to this like horrible man who has a lovely mum. And it's very gay and it's very yearny and it's so lovely, and I loved it so much. I'm gonna watch it so many more times, and I heavily recommend it. First show of the month was Traces, because it was either written or created or maybe both by Amelia Bulmore. I'm fairly sure she directed some episodes too. And I won't lie to you, it wasn't my favourite thing I've ever watched, largely because a lot of the first season had Will out of Line of Duty in it, and I hold him quite personally responsible for what happened to Lindsay Denton in Line of Duty, so fuck that man. But I did enjoy it. It was quite a classic little like British cop show, and it's got someone out of my favourite show involved. Of course I was going to enjoy it. I then watched the most recent season of Taskmaster. I've so fallen off like my little like British comedy train that I was on. And I'll give in large part, let's face it, because my ex, like, all he wanted to fucking watch was The In-Betweeners, Peep Show and Benidorm. And, like, they're good shows that I like, but I've watched them so many fucking times in the 8 years that I was with him that I don't really want to watch, like, British comedy anymore. So Taskmaster's sort of the only one that I keep up with at this point, and that does make me a bit sad, because I was, like, really on it at one point. Like, I watched everything. I watched it all. But I do also, you know, go outside more often now and have more friends that I do things with and speak to and stuff, so I guess maybe I don't have time for it all anymore. And like, let's face it, I'm still watching quite a lot of things. So the next show that I watched was 1899. I watched it because Rosalie Craig was in it. It was shit. It was absolutely dog fucking awful. It's all these people on a boat and a different boat's disappeared and then they're in the Bermuda Triangle, but then it's like a whole like wibbly wobbly sci-fi thing. I got what was happening, I just didn't think it was good. Then I watched The Moonflower Murders because Rosalie Craig was in it, and this would have been a better one for me because it was quite fun in the way that it went between like a like 1920s murder mystery, who's done it kind of thing, and the modern day like trying to figure out who did it based on this book that was written. So like it did have an interesting concept. I did think that Rosalie Craig was really good in it. I hated Daniel May's smug cunt little fucking face through the whole thing. I hate the accent that he did in it. I hate having to look at that man. I don't like him. I don't want him to be in things. Didn't fucking like it. I then watched Android because it was advertised to me on BBC iPlayer, and I like Diane Morgan, but it was fine. It was fine. I don't have anything like mean or nasty or horrible to say about it. I didn't love it. I won't be watching it again. I mean, if they do a second season, I'll watch it again to get to that. But it's just some like nice happy shit to have on in background while you're like baking and doing the dishes, you know? Like I wouldn't like sit down and watch it. That'd be going a bit far. And the final show that I watched that month, I mean, I've got like 20 minutes of the last episode of Bergerac. Bergerac? I don't know how to fucking say it, even though I've heard it enough. I fucking hate that as well. It's a remake. It's not even the original because it has Philip Glenister in it. And I only have a tiny bit left of it, but it's going to have to go on my fucking August list now. But the last show that I actually watched in July was The Rapture on BBC One, because I was about to start watching Bergerac when the ad for that came up, and I fucking love what's her face? Ruth Madley? Is there a G in it? The woman that was in Doctor Who and years, and now she's in lots of other things too. I saw that she was in it in the ad and I was like, yeah, go on, babe. And then partway through, Stephen Campbell Moore just appeared out of nowhere. I was like, oh my god, it's Evan! It was, it's so rare that I don't know that people out of my favourite show are in things. It's so rare that I get surprised by them. I love it every single time. It was so exciting to just like suddenly see Evan out in the wild. And he got confused if she was a psychiatrist or a psychologist, and it was such a Gene move, and I'm really actually very scared that there's been lots of little like Ashes to Ashes references in the TV shows that I watch lately that have people that have Ashes to Ashes in them. I probably mostly need to speak to my GP about my mental health, but I also have a massive fear that it's the universe sending me a sign that they are going to do a sequel to Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes. And the universe is trying to prepare me in advance because it knows that I'm gonna fucking hate it, because we all know that it's gonna be all about Sam fucking Tyler. I don't give a shit about him. Make it be about Alex Drake. I hated the script that they released. That was their idea of what the sequel would be. I don't want to see Gene Hunt in Care Home. I hate every idea that they have for it. I don't want to see it happen unless they specifically let me come in and tell them exactly what to do. I don't want it to happen, and they're not gonna do that, so I don't want it to happen. I'm scared that it's going to, but that was in fact everything that I watched this month, so we can all calm down. It's actually completely fine, and I'm going to stop now. We've finished the video. As always, I feel really mean telling you guys that watch these videos that aren't like real proper content that people care about, like it's just about me and my stupid little tastes. You guys know that I don't like to ask you to do things in these videos, so I'm not going to go as into it as I usually do, which already isn't that fucking into it, to be honest with you, because by the time I get to the end of a video I'm quite ready to stop fucking talking. But I will have my usual links down below, and as always, it would mean a lot to me if you went and had a little look at them, had a little nose, had a little share, had a little donate, whatever you fancy doing. Would be very, very nice and very, very appreciated. And we're going to go now. He's come back just for the end. Oh. Poor little man, you're about to have to move so I can get up. Poor little baby. Oh, he's just so lovely. So yeah, whoever you are, wherever you are, we hope you have a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and we'll see you again in a couple of days. I don't know why I said it as though I was like leaving a gap for him to have a little go.